Higher order thinking, critical analysis. Critical analysis, higher order thinking skills, depth of understanding. You might have come across phrases like this in assignment briefs, marking criteria, and feedback. Getting the higher marks is all about the quality of your thinking, as well as the quantity of information you include, so let's look at what this means. Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives is a widely used framework underpinning teaching and assessment. It divides learning up into 6 levels of increasing complexity, and the trick to doing well on assignments is to match your work to the level of thinking that's expected. Knowledge is the bottom level, or the foundation. You can't do much without knowledge. But knowledge in this sense is just facts and information, things you can collect and memorize, and to show that you've learned them, you simply repeat them back. Knowledge is important, and learning it can be hard work, but intellectually, it's not very complex. The next level is understanding. Knowing something is one thing, but it helps if you also understand what it means. The best way to demonstrate understanding is to explain it in your own words, or paraphrase. That's why it's best to use your own words rather than copying from a text. Even if you don't feel you've phrased it as well as the original, it's a far better way to show that you've understood it. Knowledge and understanding are what you gain from your lectures and your wider reading. It's rare that an assignment will only be testing these levels, though. Knowledge and understanding are what you have, but most assignments will be asking what you can do with them to solve a problem or answer a question. If you've ever got the feedback that your work is too descriptive or not enough depth, it's probably because you're mostly just demonstrating these 2 lowest levels. So, what can you do with your newly gained knowledge and understanding to demonstrate higher level thinking and show depth of learning? You could apply it or put it to use. You could apply theory to practice, apply a process to a particular example, a concept or model to a scenario, and make that knowledge and understanding work in the real world. You could also analyze it. To really understand something, we take it apart, look at the parts that it's made up of and how they work together. It's a bit like dissection. This is analysis. You could analyze a situation to see what's causing or influencing it, analyze an argument to see how it's constructed, analyze a process to see how it works, analyze a quotation to interpret it, or analyze data to see any patterns that emerge. You could see Bloom's taxonomy as an analysis of learning, taking learning apart into its constituent elements and showing how they relate to each other in a hierarchy of complexity. Analysis is your view of it, though, so you'll need to explain your reasoning to your reader so they can see why your analysis is valid. Evaluation, the next level up, is to make a value judgment. Good or bad, effective or ineffective, relevant or not relevant, convincing or not convincing, successful or not successful. Of course, very few things are quite this black and white, so you'll probably be making more nuanced evaluations. Largely convincing, moderately successful, effective to a certain extent. You might also be comparing, this one is more effective or useful than that one. Again, as evaluation is your own perspective, you'll need to show your reasoning to convince your reader that your evaluation is sound. Evaluation and analysis often go together. It's what's called critical analysis. This means to ask not just how something works, but also how well it works. The final level is synthesis, also known as creation. This is where you get to take all of your knowledge and understanding, all of the outcomes of your application, analysis and evaluation, and blend it all together to create something new, your answer to the question. If analysis is like dissection, then synthesis is like cooking, taking separate ingredients, combining them together, and making something that's more than the sum of its parts. If you want to look at it a different way, you could see this hierarchy as ideas, so gathering your information and knowledge, making connections between the ideas instead of just listing them, and extending them into arguments and explanations of your own. Most assignments that you do in higher education will be asking for all of these levels, implicitly or explicitly. For example, sometimes you might be critically evaluating a journal article as part of the assignment, but Other times, your ability to analyse and evaluate might just come through implicitly in your choice of sources in the reading list. And there'll be a different balance of these levels and different assignments depending on what the question is looking for. Remember, above all, that you're usually being asked to make an answer rather than just find one, which involves demonstrating those higher level thinking skills to get the higher marks.